Many of us have been taught that fiction always means false or fake, and that nonfiction always means true. Well, turns out that's actually a lie, and I know what you're thinking. Oh my goodness, how could my teachers lie to me like this? Well, the truth of the matter is that no one person is perfect, and no one person can know all of the facts all the time, and so it would be impossible for any nonfiction author to be completely truthful all the time. Fact of the matter is that nonfiction authors give a version of the truth, or rather, their version of the truth. And so, as active citizens, it's our responsibility to keep in mind the author and the author's point of view when we are reading nonfiction. Let me give you an example of this here. This is a picture of newspapers covering the same event. You can see that each newspaper has its own point of view or its own perspective. If I were to look at the USA Today copy of this event, which is a congressional election, it says GOP wins big, and I can see some people smiling. They look very happy. They look very excited. This looks like a very positive event. If I were to look at this newspaper over here, it says nope. This looks pretty negative. If I were to go up here, I can see a man kind of looks excited, but maybe he even could be angry. So you can see that even though each of these newspapers is covering the same exact event, they're covering them in a different way because they each have their own point of view. An active citizen doesn't just read everything and believe it right away. They consider critically the author's point of view before believing what they read. So, go ahead and pause the video now and go pick up the paper that looks like this from the back of the classroom. Okay, now that you have this paper, go ahead and glue this into your notebook. When we're studying perspective or point of view, it's very important that we ask ourselves, who is the source? What do we know about the person or organization that published the piece of writing or video that you're watching? What is the point of view of this source on this event, topic, or issue? Do they feel positively? Do they feel negatively? What do they think about this topic? If this author were involved in a debate on this topic, which side would he or she be on? And lastly, what kind of language is this author using to discuss the issue? What does that tell me about the author's perspective? I'm going to go ahead and show you how this will look in my own topic on bottled water. Here I have a source that is from an organization called bottledwater.org, or the International Bottled Water Association. Now, if I'm a good critical citizen, I'm not just going to start reading it. I need to think about who is the source. Well, if I know that they are a bottled water association, I'm probably going to pick up on the fact that they're not just any random person who has experience with bottled water. They actually are making money off of this bottled water. I'm also going to need to think about what's their point of view, and if they were in a debate on banning bottled water, what side would they be on? Well, considering they're bottledwater.org, they're probably not going to want to ban bottled water. They're definitely going to want to keep bottled water around. Next, I'm going to look for what kind of language this author is using to discuss the issue. So I'm going to skim through, and as I see here, they use words like critical component. This means important piece. It says that they manufacture, distribute, and sell bottled water. That sounds pretty positive. It says it's mentioning wages and benefits. These are also very good words. I know my root bene means good. It's even saying it's creating good jobs. Contributing, another positive word. Here I see a lot of positive words being used to describe bottled water. Let me show you a different example now. This one is a video called The Story of Bottled Water. Now I can see up here that this one is published by somebody named, or an organization called The Story of Stuff. Now I don't really know that much about it, but the cool thing is that if I'm looking at a website, I can usually go to an About section and see something about our story or about me. So when I click on the story page, it's going to give me a little bit of information about my source. So right now I'm asking who is the source. Didn't really know just off the top of the name, so I'm diving a little bit deeper to see who these people are. Right off the bat, I can see it says, we have a problem with stuff. We have too much of it is toxic, and we don't share it very well. That's not the way things have to be. Before I even dive into my article, I can already probably guess the author's perspective on bottled water. They're outright saying that they are an organization that thinks we have too much stuff. They're probably not going to like bottled water. So if I'm looking at what's the point of view that they have, or what side of a debate would they be on, I'm thinking just based off of who they are, they're probably going to be against bottled water. They're probably going to be on the side of banning bottled water. I can go ahead and look to the language that the author is using to tell me a little bit about their perspective. So when I look down here, it says, over 5 minutes, the film explores the bottled water industry's attacks on tap water and its use of seductive, environmental-themed advertising to cover up the mountains of plastic waste it produces. This is pretty negative. They're saying that the bottled water industry is attacking. That does not sound very positive. It says, avoid bottled water. Support public investment in clean, available tap water. So I can tell here they're telling us to stay away. It sounds pretty negative. Again here, I haven't actually read the whole article. I've only skimmed through for both of these articles, but I can already start to make some guesses about how they're feeling just based on the little bits of language that I've picked up on and by thinking about who is the source, what side of the debate would they be on. As you start to do your reading today, I want you to really think about who is the source, what is their point of view, what side of the debate would they be on, and what language are they using to teach me about their perspective.